What's going on, good peoples? How y'all doing out there? Come on, talk back to your boy. It's that time again. Come on, if you out there, holler back. Holler back. Holler back. Holler at your boy. Let me know you in the house. Let me know you in the house and let me know how you doing. How was your day? How you living? Talk to a brother. Hopefully all is well. What's going on there, guy? Good evening to you. Thank you for joining me. How was your day today, guy? Hey there, Ivory. How are you? Your day was great. My day was great as well. How? Yeah, my day was great so far. I will not complain. Had a good day. Had a great day. Good evening, there, bro. How you feeling? Prayerfully, you still got sand in your toes. Prayerfully. Okay. God say his day was good. That's what's up. Come on in and holler at a brother. I guess some of my folk might be out shoveling the snow or something, you know? I know that's right, bro. I know that's right. That's what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to handle that business. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead, sis. Do what you do there, sis. I ain't mad at you at all, Sister Boxdale. Do what you do. Tyrone, good evening to you, bro. How you doing? How's your day so far? I started to call you earlier today, Tyrone. I did. I started to call you, but I didn't know what shape you was in. I went around the alley. Good evening there, Minister Hicks. Thank you for joining us. How was your day? Mother dear. Yes, I got some rest, mother dear. I'm glad to hear you're doing just fine, just fine. For those of you who are on with me right now, if you can, if you will, can you please, even though it's tomorrow, can you all wish my mother a happy birthday? Tomorrow will be her birthday. Can we show some love to Granny Matthews? I'm glad to hear that, Minister Hicks, that your day was good. Good evening there, Auntie. My day was great, and I'm glad yours was as well. Yeah, DPW that went MIA on a brother, but it's all good though. He on those missions that he's supposed to be on. Energy levels are low. Things feel like, oh man. Well, I definitely pray that that gets better, Tyrone. We pray that gets better. Absolutely. They even saying happy birthday to you on YouTube, mother dear. Happy birthday to you, my beautiful mother dear. Thank you so much for being my mama. Thank you so much. Yep. Touch and agree with those prayers that's going up for Tyrone. They saying they praying for you, bro. Definitely, we praying for you. Definitely. 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 I want to be careful with my words. It's definitely an interesting season. Just found out yesterday that one of my little cousins passed. Uh, just been a few things going on. Tyrone says, thanks for the prayers, everyone. There's been a few things going on. I don't even want to really speak a lot of it out, but we give God praise that even in this season, God is still working things out. God is still working things out. Still working things out. And I give God praise. We do pray for the children of Tiffany Green on her way to work, had a heart attack, and now she's on the other side. Mother Dear says thank you to everyone who wished her a happy birthday. Yep, on her way to work. And now she's on the other side to see how long eternity is. This is why, my brothers and sisters, one of the reasons why I should say, don't take nothing for granted. Don't take life for granted. You can have all the plans in the world for one day and not even get a chance to fulfill those plans because we just don't know the day or the hour. Don't know the day or the hour. So I would say this to anyone that's listening to me. You know, if you are not right, if your soul not right with Jesus, I would do that in a hurry. I would do that in a hurry because we just don't know what tomorrow, what today, what tonight has in store for us. And so, again, I send my prayers out to family of Tiffany, her sisters who, you know, of course, taking it tough. Just been an interesting dynamics, but we give God praise through it all. Our God is great and greatly to be praised. That's right, Mother dear. I love it. I love it. All right, good folks. Let's get in. Thank you for all who wish my mother dear a happy birthday. I really appreciate it. Mother dear is still here with me, and I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. Tonight, you know, I don't know. I don't know how it's going. I normally would say let's have some fun, but let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Tonight, I want to talk about what I consider the hardest thing to do, even though in a lot of ways it's the easiest thing to do. The hardest thing for some people to do and the easiest thing for a few people to do is to give people credit when credit is due. Yes, my already just in February, our second cousin that we've lost in 2026. Yeah. That's why I say 2026 so far has been interesting. You're absolutely right, Mother dear. But one of the hardest things for some to do, for many to do, and one of the easiest things for few to do is to give credit where credit is due. My brothers and sisters, it's amazing how in this life People can absolutely witness greatness right in front of them. But instead of celebrating it, instead of complimenting it, they sometimes sabotage, they sometimes criticize, they sometimes ignore it. And that's it, Devon. You took it from me. And what's crazy about it, complimenting somebody, appreciating somebody, giving somebody credit where credit is due, doesn't take nothing away from you. If anything, it adds to you. It makes you look like more decent of a person. I'm one of those dudes, I found out early in my life that I didn't have a problem with other people winning. Now, I'm as competitive as many, may not be too many that's more competitive than me when the chips are down. But at the same time, I'm good with you winning if you won. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've had a problem with those who have stuff just handed to them, those who didn't put in the efforts that it took to get certain rewards, things of that nature. But that's not my argument tonight. But I've never had a problem seeing other people win. If anything, I will do everything I can to try to help a person win. I remember just a little scenario, just a little scenario. I remember back in the day, for those who from Westport community, we used to play basketball on the basketball court up in the big park. And there was a goal and a backboard that was set up. And on that backboard was written Doo-Doo Brown. So that became known as Doo-Doo Brown. That's where we would play a lot of games at. So on Doo-Doo Brown had a rim that was slightly tilted down. So a lot of people thought that because I played a lot on Doo-Doo Brown, that I wanted to play a lot on Doo-Doo Brown, it was only because the rim was tilted down. So it made it easier for me, as you say, dunk on people. My brothers and sisters, let me say this first. I could dunk on people on the regular goal. That dunking wasn't the problem. But I found out that if you somewhat level the playing field, it made the game a lot more competitive. I got tired of sometimes when you are good at certain things, some people won't give their all. They just let you do certain things. And I got tired of people just letting me do certain things. And then I hear other people like, yeah, they let Arnel do this or this, that, and other. So I love to play in competitive games. I love when it was competition where that meant I earned what I got. Good evening there, Andrea. Thank you for joining me. I'm wonderful this evening. And I pray that you are too. I did let everybody know about Tiffany, your very good friend. We do pray much for her children, and we pray for you. You definitely was good friends with her, so we remember her and we pray for you as well. Good evening there, Danique. Thank you for joining us. And so many people thought I was trying to get everybody on Doo-Doo Brown just so I could easily dunk on people when I could dunk on the regular goal. That wasn't the case. I wanted the game to be competitive. So I tried to level the playing. Everybody couldn't dunk on the regular goal, but a lot of people could dunk on Doo-Doo Brown. So that meant that now you had to watch your back. That meant now that you had to play a little harder, play a little defense, because anybody could mess around and dunk it and things of that nature. So anyway, the point of that reference was I've always had a history of trying to look out for people. And yeah, that's how I met Billy. You're absolutely right. Billy used to come over and hoop with us many a day. And so we would be out there, and sometimes we'd be out there all night long playing on. Now, it was a whole court, but this particular rim was a side goal. And it would be people, 10, 15 of us playing on the side goal instead of playing a whole court. And instead of us running what you call a 5-on-5. And I remember, just different scenarios and situations where, you know, I would try my best to look out for people, no matter what the scenario or situation was. That was just me. I never found it hard to compliment somebody, but there are people who find it hard. They can witness things right in front of them, great things, good things. Do you know how hard it is for most of us in this thing called life? Do you know how hard it has been for some of us in this thing called life? Do you understand some of the things that people have gone through to get where they are today? And so for some people, just to hear somebody say a word of appreciation, to hear somebody say a word of thanks, to hear somebody be able to acknowledge or recognize that, first of all, I exist. Like, hey, I'm a part of life too, but to also recognize that I bring something to the table. Come on, can I get a few people on here with me if you agree that it's just a good feeling when you feel like you bring something to the table? That's it, Devon. It could mean the world to someone if they just heard somebody. Do you know how many people live in houses and they do things all, every day, the same routine, the same repetition, but they don't hear thank you. They don't hear I appreciate you. You don't have a clue how many children are hearing verbal abuse in their home and then go to school and they're verbally abused by friends, overlooked by teachers, only to come back home to verbal abuse. Some children, it's a miracle how they are excelling in school. Some people, they wonder why some children are underachieving. Some children are angry and lethargic and lazy. They're wondering why the children, because some have had to turn their ears off because all they're hearing in their home is what they are not, what they didn't do right. Sometimes the anger being taken out on them because of a relationship that's gone wrong. So sometimes these children, they are in school, but they somewhere else. There was a song years ago that said, your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side. Some of our children are just sleepwalking through life because the abuse started early. It ain't always sexual abuse, physical abuse. Sometimes it's mental and emotional abuse. Sometimes all you had to hear was what you did wrong, how you didn't fold the clothes right, how you didn't make your bed up right, how you didn't clean the bathroom right, didn't scrub the steps correct. That's all you hearing. And then when you do something well, do something right, oh yeah, well, get in there and do this, get in there and do that. It's no word of, you know what, thank you, that's a good job. Oh, you did that. That bed looked good. Oh my God, you did it. For some people, they feel like I ain't doing that. What I need to do that. But see, sometimes you don't know the seed that you're planting in the people that you are saying certain things to. Ivory said it's definitely a good feeling, especially when you're not used to it. Absolutely. They are out here putting one foot in front of the other. That's it. Some people, because I'm gonna say this, and I hope y'all get it. Some people, because they make regular look good, it's easily ignored. For instance, some people, they take care of home. They responsible. They dress a certain way. They just do. They just make regular look good. The regular stuff that people do, they just make it look good. And so most people just take it for granted. They ignore it. When sometimes we gotta get to a place that we acknowledge, we appreciate, because some people are coming out of some situations, man, that they fought to be where they are today. That's it, Ivory. Encouragement can go a long way. And many of us, excuse me, keep feeling like I got to sneeze. Many of us have the ability to encourage, but we just won't. Come on. Come on. Somebody tell the truth. How often are you receiving words of encouragement? Come on. Tell the truth. How often are you receiving words of encouragement? Even when you do things correct, proper, or, very good. How many? That's it, Devon. Some people are barely holding on. That's it, Denique. Everyone loves a little recognition sometimes. So I figured, like, we're in this month where we're celebrating, Black history. We're celebrating the accomplishments and the achievement of Black folk, people who have done some things and have contributed to society, and whenever we get around to Black History Month, we celebrate the Martin Luther Kings, the Thurgood Marshalls, the Frederick Douglasses, George Washington Carver, Barack Obama, even Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth. We celebrate the usual candidates. But my brothers and sisters, we in 2026, right? And guess what? There's some people who are making history that we overlook every day. Some people don't know how to be on encouragement because nobody never encouraged them. That's true, Ivory. That is so true. Some people don't know how to encourage because they have not been encouraged. No one has encouraged them. That's so true. And some people don't do it because of that as well, Ivory. But we're in 2026, right? And there are some people that are in our presence, in our midst, that we know of, that are doing wonderful things. They are adding to life and making life more enjoyable, more sociable, more comfortable in a sense for you. And many times it's ignored because it's just regular. They just people around us. Like, for instance, my mother dear has been on this planet for 70 something years. She'll celebrate 75 years tomorrow, 75 years of life. And my mother dear, has contributed to society by having, sons, and, sons who fought through challenges of life to become positive men. A Black mother with 3 sons, come on, in the projects, that's almost in a sense a death sentence for the fellas. And she's not the only one. I'm just highlighting her because she's my mother. But she's not the only one. But busting her tail every morning to go to work. I don't know my mother to be the person that was asking a whole lot of people for anything. We just went without. She just worked hard to do certain things. She was on her job 30 something years, almost 40 years on the same job. A job that, of course, she didn't like, but it was a job that she had to go to, as they would say back then, to make ends meet. And sometimes the ends didn't meet. They got close, but sometimes them ends didn't touch. Sometimes them ends got close, but then they still started to drift away. But yet and still, she showed up every day. She showed up every day. And some of you, your mothers, your fathers, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, for some of us, they should be mentioned in our recognition of Black history. They made contributions that are still living today. They made deposits in the earth that is still yielding fruit today. My Aunt D that you see on here, my Aunt D was young, lost her mother young, went through a lot of things young, grew up angry at the world because of things that happened to her at a young age. But Auntie is still here. And Auntie, what I celebrate about her is she showed up every day. Auntie done been through some things that I'm quite sure she wouldn't want to talk about or even acknowledge. But the thing is, she's been through it. You know, young parent as well. And she's still here, you know, and these are people that many times they don't get appreciated for the sacrifices that they made. You know, my aunt was one of the people that used to tell me I was handsome, my handsome nephew. That was my aunt. My aunt was one of the first ones. I used to ask my aunt when I was young, was I ugly? Because, you know, the girls, I wasn't a girl magnet. I know that's surprising now, you know, handsome as I am, but no, let me stop. But I used to ask my aunt, like, no, boy, you handsome, my handsome nephew. And that was my aunt that would say those things to me when I was young, you know, and I appreciate people who have it in them to compliment, to encourage, to celebrate, whatever it took for people to make it. You know, my wife is a dynamic young lady. Dynamic. And it seems like wherever my wife goes, it turns into gold. It seems like wherever Shawana Marshall plants her feet, it turns into gold. Shawana Marshall, even when we wasn't in church and all of that stuff, Shawana Marshall had influence in her neighborhood. She had influence in her family. She had influence. She was back when, you know, the WIC program and all that, you had to almost basically volunteer for the program so that they can help you find a job. And so she volunteered, went, and the people took to her, older people took to her. She ends up with the job at this computer company. These people loved her. Then she took a position with the state, contractual, just taking a chance. Took a chance. People loved her. She ended up full-time, been there over 30 years. And the older people, again, loved her. Then, you know, we start, now, this, I gotta say this. My mother was something else when we was growing up when it came to females. My females, she ain't like, so she ain't do too much accepting. But Shawana Marshall, I think Shawana is more of her daughter than I am her son. Because see, my mother always wanted daughters. She always wanted daughters. And I think my wife represents the daughter that she never had. And so many times my mother's on my wife's side more than she on my side. But anyway, but my mother loved her. We go to church, and my pastor and the church family love her. She starts, well, she initiates this little group of young ladies. The young ladies take to her and they love her to the point that my wife was pregnant with my youngest daughter and she had to go out. The girls didn't want to be a part of the program. They only wanted my wife to do it. So they didn't want nobody else to do it. So the program basically dissolved because my wife wasn't in it. We started a ministry. Everybody was talking about these rowdy, bad kids around the way. Man, these bad kids not only took to my wife, but these kids was coming to Bible study. These kids was coming to vacation Bible camp. These kids was when we used to leave from the church, they'd be chasing after our cars. They would more so chase after my wife in our car. And I mean, anything she touches seems like it turns to gold. She joined, she's a part of the ministry. And people have taken to her. And I mean, they love her. And she's the person that you can love. Absolutely the person you can love. And, you know, it goes without saying, but this is Black history. This is a Black woman that anywhere she goes, she's making her stamp. She's in school now, and school is, you know, shaping her and doing different things, but she's making a path for her. She has women's groups that love her. I mean, I could go on and on about this young lady, but this is Black history unfolding before our eyes. People look for the national scene, but sometimes they miss what's right in their midst. You know, sometimes people are doing great things. I got a friend of mine, right? Been through some challenges, his body been through it. And his name is Mark Johnson. But Mark Johnson is very instrumental in my life. And I celebrate him today because Mark Johnson, when I was young knucklehead, he was my coach on the basketball team. And so he would pour into me. And he's one of the people that's instrumental in helping me to get to where I am. When I was at a point where I needed a job, guess who got me a job? Mark Johnson. I could have lost my job on the first day of the job because I put my hands on somebody. And guess who helped me to keep my job? Mark Johnson. And I didn't have no bunch of car fare at the time because I didn't have a job. So me and Mark Johnson used to walk to work. He used to walk to work with me because I didn't have car. Now, he had been working there. He had the money to get back and forth. But he chose to walk to work with me and walk home with me. And this wasn't a short walk or anything like that. And so these are people that's instrumental in my life. They mean something to me. I celebrate them. I can't celebrate them enough because Mark put seeds in me that ultimately ended up growing to who I am today, you know? And so I got to celebrate him. So when I think of Black history and people who making contributions, yeah, I got people right in my face that are making contributions. I got people right in my face that I got to say thank you to, that I got to celebrate because they're doing great things. It's easy to reach away from, but usually when you reach away from, you miss what's right in front of you. I got a man by the name of Durst Jackson. Mr. Jackson has gone on. But Mr. Jackson was instrumental in me graduating from high school. I wasn't getting good grades and I was probably going to get put out. But Mr. Jackson took it upon himself to make me have to bring progress reports to him. And he took it upon himself to check in with me, made me switch class so that I could be in his class, things of this nature. These are things that people don't have to do for you. Richard Christmas, who not only put up with my foolishness of carving trade, but Richard Christmas put his neck on the line to get me into what was called the apprenticeship program. And I mean, Thurm James, I can't even begin to thank Thurm James enough. I can't even, that's not even the amount of money I could ever give Thurm James for what it is. Yeah, Adrian. Yeah, Coach Jackson. That was my guy. He helped me pass algebra too. But Thurm James Sr., I can never repay him. This is the man that connected me to Christ, and under him, I learned that God had a calling for this knucklehead boy. Thurm James used to come and search for me. Do you hear me? I was trying to, I guess, in a sense, leave and do me, but Thurm wouldn't allow it. God used Thurm to come and find me. He would come where I was, stand there and demand for me to be in church, demand for me to be in service, be in Bible study. And so when I look at Black history, I got to pause and say thank you to those who are around me. I got to pause and say thank you to a Ronnie Matthews, AKA Hug. The manners that I have, most of the manners I have, I got them from Ronald Matthews. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Ronald Matthews didn't play. He would come in the house. I couldn't put my elbows on the table, couldn't wear a hat at the table, had to make sure the woman was on the inside of the curb. If I raised my voice at my mother or something like that, he'd be ready to kill me. I mean, this guy, you had to look him in the face when you was talking to him. This guy in his Swedish knits and slippery earls, he was the one who took me on the basketball court and introduced me to basketball. He was the one. It's hot as I don't know what. He up there playing basketball with me. He took the time to try to teach me that game, show me that game. Had his own issues and problems, things of that nature, but he was the one that took time out to introduce me to that game, a game that I ended up loving with everything in me. So I'm grateful for a Ronald Matthews. Love me some Hog. Hog will never die as long as I live, because Hog put some things in me that I still do today. And so when I look at Black history, I see Black history on a regular basis. I don't have a problem celebrating Black history. And I hope and pray that I'm getting through to some people, that there's some people around you. I can even go in my circle, right? I got guys like Charles Smith, who, you know, life ain't been easy for Charles Smith, but Charles Smith is still hanging on in there. Still hanging on in there. And, you know, sometimes you can mess with people and you want the best for them. And so sometimes you gotta agitate them. Sometimes you gotta get at them. But I'm grateful that he's hanging in there. You know, working man, married man, family man. Love it. Devon Barksdale, y'all see his name on it. I done been connected to, that's Pootie to me. But I've been connected to Pootie since Pootie was, I don't know, 6, 7 years old. I've been connected to him. Been looking out for him. I can't count how long. And the thing is, I was looking out for him on the strength of his brother. I loved his brother Felipe. That was my guy. I thought he was one of the funniest guys ever. And Big Mike, I love Big Mike. They were my guys. And Pootie always to me seemed like a good guy, good guy. So I ain't want nothing to happen to him if I could help it. And so, you know, he's a working man these days, married man, worked 2 jobs. That's one of the hardest working dudes I know. My God. It always seemed like this dude working. I don't even know his schedule, to be honest. I don't even know his schedule. All I know is he work. So I'm so excited when he get a chance to take a vacation, when he get a chance to chill out, when he get a chance, sometimes he just running on fumes, but he running. He got a motor, and it just amazes me sometimes. And so I celebrate Devon, because Devon has in him what a lot of people have in them, but they just don't recognize it. They just don't appreciate it. And so now I'm at the place where he gets to show certain appreciations to me. Now, I've never looked out for him to have to look out for me, but that's God's doing. That's God's doing. And, I'm gonna say a few more names. I know this probably wasn't the moment on Monday that some people was looking for, but sometimes you just gotta pause and give credit where credit is due. Some people, this is the hardest, but it's the easiest thing that people can do, because there are people around us that should hear thank you from us. There are people around us that should hear I appreciate you. I got a guy. I can't forget him. His name is Antoine Johnson, y'all. Antoine Johnson. Now, me and Twan used to always be cool, always cool. But we used to get it on the basketball court. Twan used to talk trash to me, all that old stuff. And, used to do my thing on Twan. And that was it. That was our thing. And years later, Twan would have a major crisis in his life. Twan was a working man. He learned how to drive trucks early. He was driving trucks. He was doing the thing, and he ended up having a couple strokes. That's him, Adrian, the man. And he had a couple strokes, and I mean some serious strokes, to the point that doctors didn't think he was going to make it. I went to see Twan one time, and he was on the table, on the bed, and yeah, from the looks of it, it didn't look well. Then I came and see him another time, and he didn't even know I was there. He was, the machine was doing what it do. But then I came and seen him again, and he was talking to me, and, got a chance to talk to him. So then I learned that he had went home. So I went to his house one day. He was in a wheelchair, and I talked to him, and he ends up coming to the ministry. He ends up joining the ministry. And through the ministry, I get to see God do something miraculous. God got him out of the wheelchair, and he was on a walker. Then God got him off the walker, and he was on a little cane. Then God got him off the cane, and he was just walking. Then God got him from walking, and he got his car. And next thing you know, I knew he was doing well when he was going and driving other people around. I said, oh, yeah. You doing real good these days. And, and I got to see this with my own eyes. And I appreciate God for what God did for Antoine Johnson. So I celebrate these guys, man. I celebrate Black history. I celebrate and appreciate what God is showing me. It's easy for me to recognize a doctor who's, performing open heart surgery. It's easy for me to recognize a pilot. It's easy for me to recognize a president. But it's still easy for me to recognize my brother that stands next to me, shoulder to shoulder. It's easy for me to recognize my mother, who still supports me to this day, supports anything I do. It's easy for me to recognize my wife, who got my back, supports me. It's easy. And it should be easy for you guys. It should be real easy for you guys to celebrate those who are around you. Yeah, mother dear. Yep. Bruce Lemon. Gotta celebrate Bruce. Bruce been one of my supporters, been in my corner for for a long time, and I get a chance to see God do some amazing things in Bruce's life. Bruce just got installed as an assistant pastor yesterday. The only thing I don't like about that is I wasn't there to be able to congratulate him. I had my own responsibility at my ministry, but I really wish I could have been there to celebrate my brother. But I did talk to him today, you best believe. I did call him today and tell him I'm proud of him, congratulate him. He also became a grandfather yesterday. His sister's birthday was yesterday, who passed. He had a grandson yesterday, and he got installed as an assistant pastor. Come on, man. God is amazing, man. God is amazing. And so I am so grateful, man. I'm so grateful. There's been so many people that have been instrumental in my life. So many people. Got my Barbara Lusters, you know, Kathy and Snooky, and just so many people. I could go on and on and on, but I give God praise that God has been good. And as I close out, I have to mention these people because they meant something to me as well. There was a man that I admired, and I got a chance to tell him because he was a black man in our neighborhood with his own business. He was a black man coming up in the 70s and 80s with his own business. And his name was Mr. David Hammond Sr. Yeah, little short man, but this man had his own business. And I'm so glad I got a chance to tell him I appreciated him. He was one of the men that I got to see in the neighborhood. A man, you always wanted a father figure. But he was one of the men in the community that I could look at that had his own business that was doing well. And even though he's gone on now, I celebrate Mr. Hammond. Mr. Hammond was one of my guys. I celebrate Mr. Johnny Brooks. Mr. Johnny, we used to be in his house buying frozen cups and Chico sticks, onion pickles. What else? All kind of desserts. Oh man, Miss Eleanor used to make plates of food and all that. But Mr. Johnny, he would always, when he would see me, he'd be like, "Boy, what you up to? You better not be out here." Mr. Johnny helped me out one time. I had hit a ball with the baseball bat, and I had busted his window on his car. And he came out, and I just knew I was in trouble and he was going to make me pay for it. But Mr. Johnny said, "It's just a window." He said, "At least you didn't strike out." Oh man, good guy, man. And I appreciate him. Had, another guy, Mr. Rice. Mr. Rice was a great guy as well. Mr. Rice used to play ball with us and show us little different things, And if I talk about Mr. Rice playing ball with us, I got to talk about Mr. Bobby, Mr. Robert Wright Sr. He was another one, played ball with us, was one of those guys I just looked at and just appreciated at a young age. Like, yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. Stuff like that. I appreciate them. Kenneth Hemsley Sr. Appreciate. Kenneth Hemsley gave me my first tie. Taught me how to tie it. He showed me it a couple times, then he wouldn't do it no more. I had to know how to do the tie. Kenneth Hemsley was the first one to correct me when I was preaching a sermon. And I kept saying, David when I really was talking about Paul. And he waited till it was over, came, he said, you was talking about Paul, but you kept saying David. And I said, you know what? Yes, I will. I said, oh man. He said, don't worry about it. Everybody make mistakes. You know, I knew what you, and he said, I hope and pray whoever needed to hear it, they knew who you was talking about. I mean, just guys like that, man. It's it's amazing what God gave me, you know. And I'll leave it off with this. There was a guy at the rec named Mr. Kelly. A lot of people probably don't remember Mr. Kelly, but it used to be Mr. Kelly, Miss Barbara, and Paul Greenwood. And Mr. Kelly, he would understand that sometimes I guess I was just a mischievous boy with energy. So he would let me into the rec. He let me play pool. Sometimes he would play ping pong with me. But this is what I appreciated about Mr. Kelly, not the days that he let me in the rec early or all of that stuff. What I appreciated about Mr. Kelly was when Mr. Kelly saw me wrong, Mr. Kelly would pull me up and he wouldn't play with me. Mr. Kelly would make sure that I knew that I was wrong. Sometimes he, you know, told my mother, but for the most part, he dealt with me. Mr. Kelly would make me, you know, scrub and clean the rec, make me, he knew I hated messing with the bathroom. He would make me scrub and clean the bathroom. He would make me, you know, lift weights and do different other things, push-ups till my arms felt like they were going to fall off. If Mr. Kelly saw me wrong, Mr. Kelly would make sure he corrected me. And it's those type of lessons that help keep me on track. And so I celebrate these people today. I celebrate them today. Those are my Black history. And it's, of course, it's more, but those for tonight are the ones that I will highlight and celebrate, because I couldn't be who I am today without those who were around me. I couldn't be who I am if it wasn't for, you know, just my friends, my family, just the different people that's been in my life. So for those of you who are in my life, you know, my Calm family, my Bethany family, my Carver family, my Lakeland family, my Westport Elementary family, my North Bend Elementary family, because we had to go up there when they was fixing Westport, my Comcast, Xfinity, TCI, whatever. I say thank you. Thank you. Because in some way, you played a part in helping my life to be where it is today. And I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. And I'm thankful. As I close, again, if you are on, and if you haven't already, can you wish my mother dear happy birthday? Tomorrow will be her birthday. I also ask that you continue to pray for my friend and brother, Tyron Stanley. Please lift him up before God. I'm praying that God not only, you know, heal his body, fix his body, but God also fixes his faith, allow him to be a strong, strong witness as he goes forward. You know, I pray that God would heal him and then loose him on people to be able to tell him how good God is. So pray much for Tyron Stanley. Pray much for the family of Tiffany Green. And just pray for the world. Pray for the world. I appreciate you, Danique. You know, it's all love. It's always been love. Always. And love you, Auntie. Love you so much, Auntie. And thank you, Auntie. You just don't know. Thank you. But Mother dear, happy birthday to you. Even though I know it's tomorrow, I love you so much. Thank you for being one of my biggest supporters. All right, good folks. This has been my moment on Monday. I'm Pastor Arnel Marshall. I pastor Community Outreach Ministry, 2616 Ridgely Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21230. Prayerfully, we'll be in the building this week. It's been a lot of snow. That's a lot of snow that needed to get up. So I pray that this week we're in the building, pray much for the ministry, and pray that God will continue to close doors that no man can shut and shut doors that no man can open. Every Sunday at 11 a.m., we in there lifting up the name of Jesus. It's never calm in the calm. We invite Lottie Dottie and anybody to come on in. If you can't join us physically, you can always join us virtually on Facebook or YouTube. Just simply type in Community Outreach Ministry, and you should see us with the fish logo. And that be us. That be us. All right, good folks. Congratulations if they get to see this, Brianna and Kyle, on your new baby boy. Praying nothing but the best for you guys. Thank God for his safe arrival. Thank God for a safe delivery. Praying that God would bless that young man in a major way. All right, good folks. Y'all know what time it is. You know what time it is. Peace.